You guys remember Ava Baroni Combs, the video that we shared and talked about together?
Ava Baroni Combs, yes, it was breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child.
I think that, you know, he brainwashed those kids, and that's what narcissists and people of his caliber do.
Why was he, Puffy like little boys? Why was they so close? Why is he so close like that's his boyfriend instead of his daddy? It's just a lot of weird.
In 2020, millions of people watched Sean D. Combs go live on Instagram, laughing, smiling, playing the role of father. And during that live stream, he introduced the internet to a young girl that he claimed to have adopted. At the time, most people thought it was harmless. Another celebrity moment, another weird Hollywood live stream. But now, after the federal raids, after the lawsuits, after Gene Deal started speaking publicly, people are revisiting that footage with completely different eyes. Because the girl Diddy introduced to the world suddenly disappeared from public view.
My name's Ava. I'm a Scorpio.
No. What's your last name?
Oh, Ava Combs.
What's your other last name?
Ava Baroni.
Ava Baroni Combs, yes, it was breaking news. Diddy adopted a white child. I want you to tell them the story about how I adopted you. But you still have beautiful parents but you're my child also. But please tell the story.
So, I was on the streets, and then Papa Combs decided that he would like to be a caring man. So then he saw me and decided to pick me up and said to come inside.
Now, according to insiders, this was all a joke. It was streamed during the COVID-19 lockdown, and as everyone was going a little stir-crazy, Combs has said in the video that he had gotten permission from Ava's mom to legally adopt her, but to be clear, that never really happened. Ava Baroni apparently was good friends with the twin daughters that Combs had with Kim Porter, Delilah, and Jessie. Kim was reportedly good friends with Ava's parents, so she was around all the time. She was often photographed with the twins. Now, Ava has been quiet on social media recently, apparently even removing her Instagram. And for what it's worth, the username at one point was Ava Baroni Combs.
The thing is the potential of what could come. We know that P. Diddy had 7 kids. One of them he actually really did adopt, Quincy. And there's a lot of questions about, did these kids attend the party? If Ava was his adopted daughter, whether real or not, was she treated like a child? And what are the implications with her being treated like P. Diddy's other kids?
So you're saying she could potentially be a witness for the government if she observed any of this criminal conduct. That's something that we're thinking about.
A girl who spent that much.
Gene Deal isn't a random internet commentator. For years, he was one of the closest people to Diddy, a bodyguard, an insider, someone who claims he witnessed the private world behind Bad Boy Entertainment. And unlike many former associates, Gene Deal has continued speaking publicly, even after Diddy became one of the most powerful men in entertainment. Recently, Gene began discussing something much darker, the children around Diddy.
Kids, he's the trafficker. P. Diddy gets a round of kids. Let's say that round of kids had Justin Bieber in it. There's contracts, okay? There's contracts for codes within that person, so they can take a remote and turn that person off. Britney Spears, when they want to. Lindsay Lohan, when they want to. Amanda Bynes, when they want to, okay? So let's say there's a contract for Justin Bieber. When P. Diddy has a hold of Justin Bieber, he now owns half of those codes. If Usher had the same contract and trafficked Bieber out to P. Diddy, okay, Usher and P. Diddy now have parts of Justin Bieber's contract. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if one goes down, the other side of the code has to go down. If there's a property linked to that person, Kevin Hart, because they had something to do with the trafficking of Bieber, then their property will go down. because there's a code to that property. There's a code to everything. Your social security number is like a code. Okay, but depending on the level of MK Ultra, people have auctions for the codes on that person. So they can use a remote to them, like a TV, and shut them down, turn it up, use somebody else, change it whenever they feel. It cuts deeper than probably a financial problem. It cuts deeper than a spiritual problem. It cuts deeper than a location problem. It cuts deeper than a soul problem. Okay, it takes a minute. It takes a minute to get up. It takes a minute to get out the corner. And for those who are like, okay, so testify. No, because listen. No, because the attorney on Diddy's side is corrupt. You know that, right? Who's going to defend someone that they know damn well is a killer, a rapist, a child slave trader? Who's going to defend someone like that? Would you? After you know what's been done? After you know,
that's a money issue.
That's a money issue, right?
You don't care what happened to the kids. You don't care about your integrity.
That's not.
According to online discussions, Ava was closely connected to Diddy's family for years. She appeared in photos, birthday parties, and sleepovers alongside Diddy's daughters. But what shocked many people was how casually Diddy described adopting her during an Instagram live stream. Legal experts later pointed out there was no evidence of a formal adoption process. There is no public evidence that Ava was legally adopted by Sean Combs.
A couple parties I seen and I knew that they were spiking drinks. My girl, and I'm getting hysterical. So I decided to go to the car, and I looked in the car. She was in the car asleep. She said, Gene, we started drinking the champagne, and I didn't feel good. And me and Debbie came here and went to sleep.
Most people don't even know that the dark coin exists, but that's how they're trading for all of the flesh they sell, which is why I became so outraged last year when the twins turned 16 and he had them dressed like prostitutes and then he auctioned them off as NFTs because the NFT that he sold them to was attached to that dark fucking coin. It was like a promissory note to sell his daughters to the 3 women I know right now in my life. They've been in my life for 6 years. I've been caring for them for 3 years. I got them off of Epstein Island. I cannot say where they are in the world. What I can say is when they got into the boat, they were roughed.
Wow.
You know how they ended up on Epstein Island?
Please.
They auditioned to be models for music videos.
Oh, casting couch.
When they got to Miami, they had to show and turn over their ID, and they collected their passports, and then they drugged them, and then the next thing you know, they were in a storage container getting fucked by a bunch of weird strangers on camera who were bidding for all of the terrible things that were happening to them.
Then came the federal raids. Homes connected to Diddy were searched by authorities. Suddenly, every old video, every old party clip, every strange live stream started being reanalyzed online, and people began asking whether Ava had witnessed something inside those homes. There is no evidence publicly linking Ava to any alleged criminal activity.
It is to you, Quincy, because I know that your mother was protecting you not only from Al, which is your father and he loved you. It was for what he would have done or Puff would have done to him. Your father ain't never been no sucker. He's a good dude. And your mother was protecting you and him from Puff. Your mother was protecting you and him from Puff. Your father was from money earning Mount Vernon. And he ain't never been no sucker, bro. I go back with Al ever since '89. And I'm letting you know this, brother. That's your pops. Other than that, for some strange reason, Puff always want to claim something that ain't his. I just think that it's a lot of brainwashing that went on. I think that, you know, he brainwashed those kids, and that's what narcissists and people of his caliber do to a lot of people around him. I feel like Quincy was brainwashed. I feel like Justin, the rest of them, Justin was too. Justin's mother was real strict. Misa was real strict with Justin. I think when he got with Puff, he got brainwashed.
Then Jaguar Wright entered the conversation, and the story became even darker. Jaguar made a series of explosive allegations connecting powerful entertainment figures to systems of manipulation and exploitation. Many of her claims remain unverified, but after the Diddy lawsuits, millions started revisiting her interviews. Jaguar Wright's claims are allegations and have not been substantiated by verified evidence.
Do Quincy got kids? Why Quincy don't have no kids? Why he talk so sweet? Why was he Puffy like little boys? Why was they so close? Why is he so close like that's his boyfriend instead of his daddy? It's just a lot of weird questions there.
I don't know how many dudes do kiss their mother in their mouth when they 50, 60 years old or something like that. That's them, that's their whole thing, man, but that was a little...
Or I'm gonna let everybody know that Diddy Doo-Wop Bop ain't the only taste you got.
So, just to switch gears.
And faggot, Curtis. I'm sick and tired of his trauma bond with each other so that they would kill for each other on the field.
Do you think Jaguar is onto something here? Is she?
Whether every online theory is true or not, one thing is undeniable. Power changes people, and celebrity culture often protects powerful men for far too long. Gene Deal describes a world built on control, fear, manipulation, and silence. A world where young people grow up around fame so extreme that normal boundaries disappear.
How many dudes do kiss their mother in their mouth when they 50, 60 years old or something like that? That's them, that's their whole thing, man, but that was a little kind of weird for me. And then his mother wore the same white fingernail polish that Cassie described that he liked to see her and other models in when she was describing her lawsuit. And what's crazy to me is that, man, it seemed like him and his mother had this, I don't want to get too deep, man, this Oedipus complex thing. So I seen the love now that they have for each other only on film and camera. You know, on the YouTube or Instagram or wherever they were showing them and stuff like that. But this the same guy that Kirk Burrows once told me he slapped his mother.
I want you to break it down. It's one part in here where Eric Sermon, he told a story about how he was in the car with Misa and Diddy caught him in the car and Diddy swung on him. You seen that part?
Well, Eric Sermon said that Puff swung on him and invited him, and he invited Puff to go around the corner. But a lot of people, Kirk Burrows told the story, and I told him, like, because we knew that had happened back in the day, that Puff was putting his hands on Misa. You know what I'm saying? I used to bodyguard Misa, brother. You understand what I'm saying? I used to bodyguard Misa. You know, after I stopped working for Puff and everything like that, I started working. Misa wanted to still be out. Misa still wanted to go to places. Misa still wanted to be out and about. So she said, Gene, would you look out for me? I said, Misa, you can't afford me. She said, Gene, it's only going to be for a couple of hours when I go out and stuff like that. I know he not going to do nothing if he see me with you. You understand what I'm saying? So I said, all right, cool. All right, Misa. All right, so if I come out for a couple of hours and stuff like that, every time I come out, Misa, it'll be $200, $250 for a couple of hours just for you, Misa. So it was known that Puff had a hand problem, especially when it came to women that he dated. And it was surprisingly that he swung, and like Eric Sammons said, on him. You understand? And then went to listen to some music. That shit was crazy to me. So my whole thing about it is that the Eric Sermon shit, and then he went to listen to Juicy after Nick swung on him. That's some industry shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's some crazy industry shit. The whole thing about when he's talking about the Misa part being in his car and everything like that, and that was the part whereas that Puff was putting his hands on Misa, and he should have whooped his ass right then and there, you know, no matter if Misa was just in his car chilling or whatever. You know what I'm saying? She chilling with me. I'm responsible for that. I'm going to be responsible for her. Do it some other time. I don't care if it's your girl or not. If she in my car right now, you understand, and she chilling with me, and she a friend, you ain't going to put your hands on her and beat her like Puff was doing her. Nah, not at all. And I think that, you know, he should have took responsibility for that more so than he took responsibility of hearing a Biggie tape or Biggie music. You understand?
Maybe the internet has connected dots that don't belong together. Maybe some people are seeing conspiracies where none exist. But one thing remains impossible to ignore. A young girl was publicly introduced to millions of people, connected to one of the most powerful celebrities in entertainment, and then quietly disappeared from public view without explanation. And in a post-Diddy lawsuit world, that silence suddenly feels very loud.
And at the time, she was only 11 years old when she was kidnapped and drugged with jelly beans and flown on a private jet to New York. And that picture with the girl on Diddy's lap with the D&G sweater, that's her. She's 11 years old in that picture. They put those clothes on her. They did her makeup.
The music changed. It was like really hard and heavy at first, and then, you know, like jam and dancing music. And it was a little softer. You know, it was a little more sensual when I came out the studio and started going upstairs. And on my way upstairs, there's like this couch. I won't say how the couch is designed because then that may give away whose party and whose house this was. There was a couch, and on the couch, I saw a couple of guys really going at it hard and heavy. And man, and I was like, oh, you know, my brain, I'm thinking, well, you know, this celebrity party, people do what they do. As I started moving upstairs, I passed them up and I noticed that it wasn't just those two guys. It was more and more people just going at it. I was like, okay, it's time for me to roll. I'm going to grab my stuff and I'm going to get up out of here. I did not know that's how this went down. So,
has anyone seen Ava Baroni? Little white girl that Diddy adopted. Where did he get her from? Was she the pick of the litter? Those poor babies. You know, people should go back and do a little research in the 90s, especially in the mid-late 90s and early 2000s. The Diddler used to throw white parties in Bangkok and Dubai and in Morocco, where child prostitution is legal. He's been snatching up little kids for decades.